Are you ready for some more absurdity? Europe is apparently now the birthplace of mankind, not Africa, scientists find, all because of a tooth and a jawbone. The history of human evolution has been rewritten after scientists discovered that Europe was the birthplace of mankind, not Africa. You see, the problem with evolution is that it can continually change. There is nothing set in stone. They will never know all the pieces because they're not looking in the right places. The Word of God is very clear how this place got started. It was no accident. It was design. Do you really think that nothing can create something? One mere tiny little coincidence started this entire place. Get real. That is a conspiracy theory. That is junk science. Yet it's passed on as though it's totally believable. Actually, it's passed off as if it's sound doctrine. When in reality, it is nothing more than theories on top of other theories on top of other theories that get debunked because, well, junk science and other theories and all this other, garbage. But apparently, according to a tooth and a jawbone, the history of human evolution has been rewritten after scientists discovered that Europe was the birthplace of mankind, not Africa. Currently, most experts believe that our human lineage split from apes around 7 million years ago in Central Africa. Obviously, look, these aren't my words, okay? I don't believe in this millions of years junk either, and you shouldn't either. They have literally no idea. Even their carbon dating continually gets disproven. It continually gets proven wrong. First of all, if someone wants to ask a question, well, why don't you believe in evolution? Where's the evidence? Well, isn't a tooth and a jawbone that bears a similar resemblance to a human molar, isn't that evidence? No, it's not evidence at all. Okay, so a tooth happens to have a similar resemblance to a human. And now that's going to be the evidence that entirely changes where humanity started? That's really what this entire thing's based on. I'm shocked because I at least thought that they would go into detail about how the DNA matches ours, and so on and so forth. You see, this evolution stuff, it doesn't fit. It doesn't work because it's all based on little theories, and things keep changing. But yet, the entire world is supposed to accept this as sound doctrine when they don't even know. One tooth, ladies and gentlemen, is changing the entire origin, according to them, it's changing the entire origin of where we all came from. One tooth. Put that into perspective. This is incredibly crazy. That is crazy. To think that one tooth is going to be enough to be taught in schools as to where in the world we all came from. One tooth that doesn't even have a DNA resemblance. Instead, it just looks like ours. Let's continue. But two fossils of an ape-like creature, which had human-like teeth, have been found in Bulgaria and Greece, dating to 7.2 million years ago. The discovery of the creature, named Grecopithecus feybergi, and nicknamed El Greco by scientists, proves our ancestors were already starting to evolve in Europe some 200,000 years before the earliest African hominid. An international team of researchers say the findings entirely changed the beginning of human history and placed the last common ancestor of both chimpanzees and humans, the so-called missing link, in the Mediterranean region. At that time, climate change. Now, whoa. This is two theories mixed in one here. Scientists, my head's about to explode because, they say all this climate change stuff, the whole Earth is just going to blow up. Hold on, let's slow down here because I was under the impression that climate change was man-made. You see, that's what they keep pushing is this agenda of man-made climate change. But apparently, the so-called missing link experienced some climate change, some man-made climate change back then in 7 million years ago. Come on. At that time, climate change had turned Eastern Europe into an open savanna, which forced apes to find new food sources, sparking a shift towards bipedalism, the researchers believe. This study changes the ideas related to the knowledge about the time and the place of the first steps of humankind, said Professor Nikola Spasov from the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences. You want to know who the real Illuminati is? They're scientists, they're researchers, they're analysts. They're these people who push agendas. They change policies through the findings. You get it? Okay. Grecopithecus is not an ape. He is a member of the tribe of hominins and the direct ancestor of Homo. I'd like to see the evidence. The food of the Grecopithecus was related to the rather dry and hard savanna vegetation, unlike that of the recent great apes, which are living in forests. Therefore, like humans, he has wide molars and thick enamel. I mean, there was no DNA evidence. It's just that, well, it looks like humans. Oh. That's it? Oh, come on. Where's the breakdown of the DNA here? That's what I'm looking for. To some extent, this is a newly discovered missing link, but missing links will always exist because evolution is infinite chain of subsequent forms. Probably El Greco's face will resemble a great ape with shorter canines. The team analyzed the two known specimens of Grecopithecus Freibergi, a lower jaw from Greece, and an upper premolar tooth from Bulgaria. Using computer tomography, they were able to visualize the internal structures of the fossils and how that the roots of premolars are widely fused. While great apes typically have 2 or 3 separate and diverging roots, the roots of Grecopithecus converge and are partially fused, a feature that is characteristic of modern humans. Early humans and several pre-humans, said the lead researcher, Professor Madeleine Bochme of the University of Tübingen. The lower jaw has additional dental root features suggesting that the species was a hominid. The species was also found to be several 100,000 years older than the oldest African hominid, which was found in Chad. We were surprised by our results as pre-humans were previously known only from sub-Saharan Africa, said doctoral student Jotchen Fuss, a Tübingen PhD student who conducted this part of the study. Professor David Begun, a University of Toronto paleoanthropologist and co-author of this study, added, "This dating allows us to move the human-chimpanzee split into the Mediterranean area. During the period of the Mediterranean Sea, went through frequent periods of drying up completely, forming a land bridge between Europe and Africa, and allowing apes and early hominids to pass between the continents. The team believed that evolution of hominids may have been driven by dramatic environmental changes, which sparked the formation of the North African Sahara more than 7 million years ago and pushed species further north. They found large amounts of Saharan sand in layers dating from the period, suggesting that it lay much further north than today." Now, all I'm sitting here, I've read most of this, like almost all of this article. I have yet to see one shred of DNA evidence. Have you heard any? If you heard something, it didn't come from me because I've been reading it and I've been, analyzing it the whole time. In this Telegraph article, there was literally zero DNA evidence that said that we came from an ape in the Mediterranean. Zero. The only thing that we heard, or that we read, or that I read while you heard, that there's a similarity in one tooth. That is an awful long and far stretch. Potential hominin affinities of Grecopithecus from the late Miocene of Europe. This is the actual +1 study that the Telegraph article is referencing, right? Okay, well, I'm not going to sit here and read. I mean, this is several pages. We'd be here all night reading. So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to do a Control-F DNA. We're going to search for DNA evidence within this article because it's a research article. There are 0 matches of DNA. There is not a reference to DNA within this entire article. And of course, we could sit here and go in depth more into it, but it's pretty obvious. They're just going off of similarities. This is a similar tooth to a human's. Whoop-de-doo. That apparently is the foundation for their research with this. I mean, if you believe in evolution right now, I ask that you please go find the evidence. Go find the actual DNA evidence of macroevolution. Go find the quote-unquote missing links that have already quote-unquote been found. You won't find any. But yet we're taught in schools this. This agenda that is forced down every single student's throat is a joke. And for the first time, I actually was reading some of the comments to see what people were saying about it in the Telegraph article, and I was actually really happy to see how many people were saying, you know what, I believe in creation. This evolution stuff, it's just not possible. It's just not possible. There's no way that an accident could have changed everything from nothing into all of this. Look around. We are not here by an accident. This entire place is not an accident. It is impossible for it to be an accident. But I happen to know someone that can do the impossible. God the Father, the God of the Bible. Read Genesis. It makes a lot more sense than a tooth being able to change the entire timeline of human history. That is really their only evidence for apparently mankind came from Europe. A similar tooth. Let's put that into perspective. Because in 10 years or in 5 years or in 2 years, that'll end up being in school books, in textbooks. That right there says a lot, doesn't it? That's all the information I've got for you guys right now. Please go to christiantruther.com for more information about this particular report. We are viewer funded. Support the Christian Truther by going to christiantruther.com/info for more information. And support Christian research. God bless and carry on. Thanks for tuning into this episode. Make sure you download our free mobile apps available on Apple and Android.